Good evening, Anita Dawn here from Cell Pilates. You can't see my banner from here. No worries, I'm on the floor today, and no need to really have a warm up. Yes, that's mainly when we're working the muscles and stretching. So myofascial release, more of a relaxation in the body. Although ideally you'd want to exercise, before, and then you'd enjoy this and appreciate it so much more. So we have a couple of minutes to go. So I'm just going to say a few kind of extra things that I just like to spend the 10 minutes actually doing, not chatting, although it's all relevant. Yeah, so I'm going to keep shoes on because it gives me that grip, so I can move my body against the prickly balls or the foam or the rollers. Yeah, so I'm just going to go through back massage today. At lunchtime we did abs. We don't tend to do trigger release in the abdominals, and I've already done the shoulders. Okay, so I thought I'd just show you the different bits of equipment. They're all different, and just go through them. And you could just, if you don't have a variety, then you could just keep going with one or the other ones. Yeah, so it's coming up. Hopefully the music is quite low there. So I just introduced myself here at 5:30. Yeah, so I have a little small roller. The lumps, the knobbly bits don't really do very much, although it's kind of very handy size. Yeah, and then I have a regular full foam roller. All right, which is easier to use, but maybe you can't get into those spots that you really need to get into. Okay, good evening. Anita Dawn here from Cell Pilates and Anita Dawn Wellbeing. If you are in the house with me, if you know what I mean, say hello. Yeah, it's so much nicer when people do it with me. Yeah. So, but then I guess some of you're doing it on your own at home. But my regular clients, they usually make the effort to do it live, like this is live, instead of on catch up, because they just feel there's that a little bit of comments going on, and it's just that little bit more, I don't know, motivating, I think, when you're actually doing it live. And I'm the same with people. If I have to watch the replay, I kind of lose a bit of enthusiasm. So well done to you guys if that's what you're doing. All right, so we're going to start off with the prickly balls. So today or this evening, it's not so much about trigger point Pilates or myofascial release. Actually, it's more about rolling. So it's like a massage, just to more for the muscles and the fascia. Okay, the fascia is just a little bit of movement compression. So I'm not really going to do the trigger points and releasing the pressure, the stresses in certain parts. I'm going to look more at just releasing out the muscles if they're a little bit tense. All right, so I'll get these out the way. So that's you do have smaller rollers, but this one's really nice and it's a little soft, so it's worth paying probably a little bit more, and it's nice and long. So if you're going to get a foam roller, I'd get one of these, because we often lie on it and it's just so relaxing for the spine. But I'm tempted to do that today. Okay, so we've done a little bit with the back before, but this time we're actually going to massage. And I think the prickly balls are just wonderful for this. Yeah, so we're going to come down. I'm on a sticky mat. I was on the floor, but I'm going to use this grey thing. I'll introduce you to my grey thing in a moment, but it slid on the floor. So what I'm going to do, make sure you have room to move up and down. All right, so I want them in equal distance, about middle of the shoulder blades there. I'm going to get caught up with my wires here. Okay, and you can support your head. You don't want anything negative going on. So from here, and we didn't do this with the myofascial release, yeah, you need to lift the hips to move. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of weight going into the balls, but they're friendly, they're squashy. Yeah, and I'm just kind of pulling, using my legs there, and I'm just getting that massage, and I can move them around. And also lovely, I love to get them up into the top of the shoulders. Yeah, it looks a bit weird, but I'm just we did this against the wall, but here I'm really getting into just not in the neck. We don't want to be lifting like this into the neck, but I'm I'm arching my back, but I'm just getting to the top of the trapezius. Wow, and that just feels pretty amazing. So make sure you're not hyperextending through the neck. and then I'm going to come down through the thoracic. I'm going to run out of room here, but never mind. Let's get the toys out the way. All right. So, and then when I go a little bit lower, I start to lift myself. It's easier, and I'm just going down either side of the spine, and it just feels absolutely delicious. Yeah, and down into the lower back. Just, you want to be careful when you get into the kidneys there. Yeah, you might want to take them a little bit narrower, and then just go. Oh, it's really nice. Yeah, just to the top of the pelvis. So we want to don't want to do it on the bones. Yeah, and then just a little bit of exercise here. It looks weird, but I tell you, it feels absolutely delicious. There's no other word for it. Okay, and then here I can just go more on one side. I do get very stressed around the shoulders, so that's quite intense when I lift my hips up that much. So what I could do is I could just wiggle my back around. Yeah, that's not so evil. Good evil. Yeah, and just keeping the hips on the floor. And really, I realize how much I need it there, and I feel that tension. Okay, time to move on. So we're just looking at the back here, and we don't really want to roll the spine, okay, but generally, the muscles stick out on either side, but this is so very easy to avoid the spine. I don't think we need to do anything else but that, but we are. So I'm actually going to use this one, which is the same as the bigger one. It's just more handy. I'm just going to show you the technique here and the value of this over those. I use this for really stretching out my thoracic spine, because with lockdown I've done a lot more sitting and admin work. Yeah, so I'm going to come down here, and so when I go, I'm pulling. So you need to lift the hips up here, and so it's a little bit easier because you got one piece, but it's not nearly as delicious as the prickly balls. Yeah, and I can go a little bit more on one side. Whoops, got my wires stuck there. So I'm just going over top of my shoulder blade. Oh, beautiful. And then on the other side. I wonder what the neighbors think I'm doing. All right, and then coming back to the center. So I've got muscles either side of my spine. So if you feel this is too much pressure on the bones, then you don't really want to do this one. Yeah, so and that's really nice. But you have to it's to roll, you need to lift the hips up. Otherwise nothing's happening, yeah? And you can just lean a little bit more to one side, and then coming all the way up. So it's quite a good leg workout. We're going to do legs tomorrow, by the way. And then you could do all the way lower back and coming down. So notice how I roll down towards the lower back. I lift the head and shoulders, yeah? And then I lower back to a more of a neutral alignment when I come up to the top. Make sure you're not going into the neck there, and just make sure also that it's not uncomfortable on the bones. Yeah. So I just want to show you something. It's more of stretching with this, and it's really important. You see, I've got very rounded in my thoracic spine. So what I did before, and not so much during lockdown, I start in the lower thoracic. Okay, I tilt my pelvis back and I'm getting a stretch. I hold it there for about 20 seconds, then I go up a vertebrae, and then I'm just stretching. If you have osteoporosis, you don't want to do this, guys. Yeah? Too much pressure through the spine. So it really is important that you do get DEXA scans. That's where they tell you your bone density. Very, very important, yeah? Because we lose 1% of bone mass from 30 years old, and 1% a year. Okay, so by the time you get to 60, you've lost 30% of your bones, yeah? And let's come out of that. That's too much of a good thing. Wow, my back is just going to love this. It is loving this. So this is a Rolga, and it's not, I don't know anybody here in Britain that uses one, but I came across it on one of my online conferences. I always in touch. I did most of my training in the States, so and I know a lot of the presenters, so I tend to tune in there rather than over in this country. Yeah. And all right, so if you see there, it's got little grooves. Yeah. So I'm just going to have a look at the spine today, but it's really beautiful. I could have used it yesterday to loosen out the shoulder, and we'll revisit that. It's the last week, guys. All right, so you see here, this goes either side of the spine, so there's no pressure on the spine. But the thing is that because there's that hollow there, it's really evil on the muscles. Yeah, but it's just so awesome. Yeah, so let's have a look. So what you need to watch is my face. So I want to be in the middle there, and then make sure that my spine is in the middle. So you've got two bits there, haven't you? Whoops, it's gone away. Okay, I think we've got it there. Yeah. Okay, so just the same really as what we've been doing. But it is, if you really like discomfort, whoops, got my wires caught, spin that around there. Oh, that's a bit dangerous, isn't it? Yeah, so it's more into the muscle, yeah, and perhaps you don't get that discomfort on the spine. Oh, I'm nearly in the kitchen there. So you can imagine with that little groove in the middle, and then coming out here, it's just like someone, getting the thumbs in either side of the. Okay, guys, can you just let yourselves out and I'll just continue? No, really. Okay, so thoroughly recommend these, and it was actually the lady Leslie Bender, she's a colleague of mine, and she's the one that they're her green balls that we use, beautiful green balls, and she recommended this on one of her presentations, and they're available in Europe, and it didn't really cost more, about the same in dollars, but it was about £30. It's brilliant. It's very, very light. Yeah, but oh wow. Okay, so I hope you managed. I didn't tell you, did I? You could have tennis balls instead of these. Yeah. So these are things that you could do when you're really feeling stressed. You feel that pain that just won't go away. Yeah, there's a couple of things you can do. You can do the massaging with this equipment, or you can do the trigger pointing, or a combination of both. Yeah, I would do a combination of both, but we only have 10 minutes here, which is ridiculous. Yeah, when I do a master class, I do it in 1 hour. And so really we've got 50 minutes, haven't we? But I've mixed it up with other stuff. 50 minutes throughout the week. I think I went over when I did the masterclass. Yeah, so that is accessible on my membership page. My previous masterclasses, there is a membership to that. Yeah, we'll go into that another time. Okay, guys. So perhaps, yeah, it's really worth investing in the equipment, and they're all pretty small. They're not expensive. The foam rollers can be expensive. You can get the white foam for the white ones for, I don't know, probably £10. Yeah, this is like £40. But it's very, I don't know if you can see, so it's squashy. Can you see? It's kind of squashy, so it's a bit more comfy. I think it's worth investing. Oh, this is Stop Pilates. Yeah, this is the cream of the cream. Crème de la crème, isn't that what they say? Yeah. Okay, guys, so thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the sessions. Give me feedback. Yeah, what would you like to see in the future? I am planning a strength course, strong bones, strong muscles and healthy bones. Yeah, and that will be in middle of February. And that will be a paid course, and it's a very thorough course with personal one-to-ones as well. And I'm only 6 people in it. And also, I'm going to chat with anybody that's interested to join. I need to make sure that they're suitable for the course, and vice versa. Yeah, because it is a small course, and it'd be really nice. And it's a community as well, where we can support each other really online. Because some of my clients that have got osteoporosis, yeah, this is something, if you want to be strong and maintain your quality of life and keep your bones strong, you have to be doing this on a consistent basis, because if you leave it for a few weeks, then you lose what you've done, a lot of what you've done. I'm not quite sure on the percentage, but if you're quite new to it, you'll lose everything that you've done. you might go to the gym and then in lockdown you don't do anything for a month or two, then you've lost everything that you do in the gym. You have to start from scratch again. But with when you have thin bones, with osteoporosis, it's not an option. You don't have an option. You have to do it. And so I want to support those people that are struggling at the moment to find that motivation, and maybe if we just do some sessions together every week, it's going to really help. And it's not just the people with osteoporosis. We're all at risk unless you really have been strength training, for most of your adult life, and you can always get results. You can always make those bones stronger by strength training. And they've shown just as good or even better results with strength training than with people with medication. And then the medications you can only take for about 5 years, and then you're off the medication, and then your bones regress slightly, the density of your bones. Okay, guys, so give me some feedback. Let me know what works for you. And I am just feeling so delicious. My back is, that's my new word, delicious. What do you think? What's your word for that? What would you say? I'm talking too much. I have to go. All right, you guys have a good evening, safe evening. It's a lot warmer now, isn't it? So it's very damp. So get yourself outside. It's non-negotiable. It's the drinking lots of water, maybe 2 liters of water a day, getting out in nature, 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity, twice a week strength. Oh, it goes on and on. I don't know how, we don't have time for anything else in lockdown. So this is a great opportunity to devote yourself to this and get yourself. So when you get the base strength training, you get your base, and then you can just go in there, the technique. And when you have the grounding, the groundwork done, then you can up your weights. But you have to do lighter weights, get the technique, and slowly strengthen not just the muscles, the ligaments and the tendons, because they can get damaged and tear. And so whether you have osteoporosis or whether you don't, and then what you're looking for is lifting heavier and heavier has a greater impact on your muscles and your bones. And then you work out in a shorter space of time. So you work a little bit harder, less repetitions, and heavier weights. But you can't just go into that because you will get injury, and it's a process. And we know that it takes about 6 weeks, and that's what I'm looking at, a 6-week program where you really get in the groundwork, and by the time you finish the 6 week, you're going to feel amazing from it. But it'll give you that good groundwork to go forward into your life and make it a part of your routine, your exercise routine. I have to go. Okay, see you tomorrow, 8:30. Lit. I'm loving the lit. Are you? Let me know. And also the anchor point. I'm not getting much feedback from you guys.